Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about Uber Eats versus Skip the Dishes. Which one's the best, or maybe the best for you? I'm going to show you all the differences, how much it pays, and many more. First, we're going to start with the sign-up process. Both of them need background checks and check your driver's license. The main difference on the sign-up is Skip the Dishes does not need to see your insurance or what car you're driving. Uber Eats, you have to send them the ownership of the car and your updated insurance every time. So you do have to own your own vehicle if you want to drive on Uber Eats. One difference is that Skip the Dishes requires you to have approved thermal bags for a pizza bag and a regular delivery bag. Uber Eats says it's optional, however, you kind of need it anyway. A lot of Uber Eats vendors will write in their description, you will not receive the food if you don't bring a thermal bag, which will lead that you'll have to cancel the order. So it is highly recommended, not only for the satisfaction of customers, because your ratings will go down, but also for you to be able to do all the jobs. There are vendors that will deny you the food if you don't bring in your thermal bag. During the sign-up process with Skip the Dishes, you will be offered to buy at a discounted price 2 thermal bags, one for pizzas and one for general deliveries. Now, this in Canada here costs $60, which is actually a fair deal. If you look at used ones on Kijiji, some people want used ones like 30-40 bucks each. So I purchased them directly through the app. One other thing during startup to keep in mind that's different between Skip the Dishes and Uber Eats is that Skip the Dishes will charge you $20 for a background check. Meanwhile, the one for Uber Eats is free. So what you can do as a super side trick, you can sign up for Uber Eats. They will send you a copy of your background check, and then when you sign up for Skip the Dishes, you can send them that copy as long as it's within 30 days, I believe, 30 days or 60 days. Not sure, but that is a trick you can use to save yourself 20 bucks. Sign up through Uber Eats first, get your background check, get a copy of it, send it to Skip. That is mainly the difference I've noticed signing up for the two services. Alright, next we're going to talk about the applications themselves and the differences between them. Yeah, sorry, I shaved my face mid-video. Awkward, I know. Don't look at me. And so, the main difference between Skip and Uber is that in Skip, you have to set yourselves availability schedules, and when you get scheduled to work, you have to show up for that shift, is what they would call it. So before every Wednesday, you have to let them know when you're available, and the following week, they will show you a schedule when they want you to work. If you miss one of those, they will erase your next scheduled shifts for the next 24 hours. Now, you can hop in sometimes when they need more drivers. If you set your map to being online, as you can see now, there's no available shifts. But usually one of these areas will show a green that you can click on and say start shift. But even doing that, you can't just hop on and work for however long you want. You have to schedule how long you want to work in that shift, and it'll give you the option in 15-minute intervals, which isn't bad. You can select 15 minutes, half hour, 45, an hour, etc. But you do have to stay in for the duration of that shift. Uber, on the other hand, you go on there and you work anytime you want. You just go online and you'll start getting jobs. So that's a huge benefit, especially if you don't like being tied down to having to work a specific shift. Once you sign up, though, you'll notice that for Skip the Dishes, you do have to select regions where you would like to work. So as you can see, I've selected Bolton, Brampton, and Mississauga. Now, areas around there are not available, such as Georgetown or Caledon, and I don't think Skip has the wide reach. For Uber, for example, you can go be anywhere out of those areas and they'll still be looking for jobs. Doesn't mean you're going to get any, but I have received jobs that are far in the countryside. They do pay more, but they deliver to a much wider audience. So definitely signing up, you got to make sure that Skip is available in your area. Uber, I can say, probably is, unless you live very remotely. Another thing to note about the applications is that Skip the Dishes does not have built-in navigation. And it has a lot more steps as well. Once you accept the job, you have to let them know you're ready to drive. Then you got to click on the directions icon and it will send you over. You can program it to open your Google Maps or your Apple Maps. So that's convenient. But once you click on there, it kicks you off the app, goes into your navigation app. Once you get there, you have to slide to let them know that you have arrived at the restaurant. Then you have to slide that you picked up the order. Then you have to slide that you're ready to drive and pop the map again to drive to the customers. And then you have to slide when you're in the parking and then slide when you delivered. So there's a bunch of extra steps, whereas for Uber, you accept a job, it automatically has the navigation built into the app. You get there, once you pick it up, you slide, gives you the address right away. Once you dropped it off, you slide. So the app itself, I noticed for Skip the Dishes, has a little bit more issues. Every time I try to slide, it seems to be sliding away from my app. It's an Apple feature. It might not be happening the same for Android, but the Uber app is definitely a little better developed. Not a huge difference, not much meaning to that, but just thought I'd let you know. Another thing about the app is your acceptance rating. Skip the Dishes does want you to maintain at least 80% acceptance, but they do have a top-up promotion currently going on. So instead of offering $3 minimum jobs, Skip the Dishes will be $6 as long as your rating is 80% and above. So this rating of acceptance is not your lifetime rating, it's only in the last 10 jobs. So if you screwed up, you couldn't do something, you canceled or rejected 2 jobs, if you do 10 in a row, you'll go back to your 80% and you're back on schedule for being part of this promotion. Uber, on the other hand, they don't have an acceptance rating. So you can choose any job you want and reject the poor ones. I'll show on the screen here a couple examples of terrible jobs. I reject those. They say it doesn't affect you, but I do feel personally like maybe I would get less orders coming through less frequently. But that's just me. Apparently they don't. And one good thing about Uber Eats versus Skip is that they do generally tend to get more orders. I've noticed that for sure they get twice as many orders as when I'm doing Skip. When I did Skip, even though I'm scheduled, so they have a set amount of people they want in that city, sometimes I don't get a job for a whole half hour, so you're just sitting there. When it comes to Uber, I feel like these things come more frequently. Naturally, it depends on what time of day you're going to be doing that. You don't want to be, waiting around at 4 a.m. and wondering why you're not getting jobs. I mean, a lot of restaurants are closed by then, so that could be an indication. With that being said, let's talk about pay. So I just mentioned that Skip does have a promo where they'll do a top-up on your base fare as long as you keep your rating 80% and above of acceptance. Now, this is a temporary thing. They say they are extending it indefinitely for now, and I think it's related because of the gas prices. Uber, on the other hand, has boosts, what they would call it, and in certain areas, you will get multiplied the base fare. So I noticed sometimes in Toronto they even offer 2.4 times your base fare. Here where I am, sometimes I get the 1.1. Mississauga might get a 1.2. But also there's heat signatures on the map that'll pop up when it's busy, and if you go to that area, they'll give you an extra $1 for taking orders in that area. So you kind of can tell where the orders are more popular, and you can kind of make your way there if you want to try to pick up some jobs or more jobs if you're not getting any in your current area. But if you watch my other videos that were about doing a review on Skip the Dishes or Uber Eats, you'll notice they kind of pay generally around the same area. A lot of it depends on luck, and a lot will also depend on location. I have not tried doing this downtown Toronto. I wouldn't dare. I don't even know where I would park. If you're a bike courier, that could be a way better option if you're in Toronto. But I was just doing it here in the suburbs, and you can make anywhere from $10 an hour to $20 an hour. Just depends on your luck, your frequency. And what I mean by luck is finding jobs that the people give good tips. That does happen once in a while, but generally I've noticed across the app that not a lot of people like tipping or tipping a fair amount. I've used the app myself, and I do see that they ask for tips, and they start at 15%, which is a general tipping practice, and give you options for 15, 18, or 21%. But being the driver's side, I notice people don't do that. So as a side note, I generally recommend, if you're using these services, please do tip normally as if you were at a restaurant. It definitely is the bread and butter of the courier. Sometimes with getting jobs with no tip, I could make $8 an hour, and that does not make sense. It's half of what minimum wage technically is, and you have your own vehicle and putting wear and tear and miles on your own car. So using these services, please tip generously. I wanted to tip you because I know it's very hard doing this job. All right, guys, here's the official conclusion. Who's better? With Skip the Dishes, you get shorter distances. I've seen them go up to 10 kilometers. Usually they could be anywhere between 2 to 5. That seems pretty convenient. They try to make sure you don't drive too far. The only difference, though, is they don't show you on the map where you're going. I like to know that compared to Uber Eats. Even though it's longer distances, sometimes if I'm just going where I'm supposed to be going and I want to just drive in that direction, I'll pick up a job from Uber or reject ones that are going the wrong way. Now, those shorter distances are good, and there is more base pay with Skip the Dishes. They do keep up $6 minimum base if you're having your acceptance rating over 80, and with Uber, well, unfortunately it's $3, and then you got to look out for higher paying jobs that have tips. However, mentioning that acceptance rating, you can reject a lot of jobs with Uber. Meanwhile, with Skip, you do have to maintain that 80%. That's something to keep in mind. Now, it also is less busy. I did a 3-hour shift in Bolton, and the last hour I did not get a single order. With Uber Eats, I feel you get at least 2 or 3 times more requests. They keep coming, and especially as I'm rejecting more of them, I noticed that you are getting more orders coming through. Now, with Skip the Dishes, we talked about you have to get locked into a shift. I personally don't like that. With Uber, I like the freedom that you can log on and work anytime. And that is it. So how do you pick a winner? Well, let's hear from another YouTuber, Drew, who made a video about that, and see what he found in his research.
It's pretty hard to figure out which one is the best.
Postmates just not cutting it.
Okay, so Postmates is the worst one.
With all things said, Postmates is the official winner.
I mean, Postmates is the best one.
Number 1 is DoorDash.
Or sorry, no, DoorDash is the best one.
This is my first experience with DoorDash. It was alright.
The best one at sucking, I meant. It's actually very bad.
I like DoorDash a lot better.
DoorDash is very good.
I'm actually getting pretty frustrated with DoorDash.
Oh no!
DoorDash for the win.
So as you can see here, he put a lot of clips together of other people that did the similar comparisons to other food delivery services. And what is the verdict? Well, everyone has a different opinion. So here's mine. They're both good, okay? But they're also both good in their own way. I did Skip if I want to stay in a short distance and I have the time so I can actually schedule myself in. And then on my way back from doing Skip, I'll pop on some Uber and take some Uber jobs that are going in the direction of my house. That helps me pay for the gas just to drive back home. Each one of them has their own benefits. So what I would suggest is you got to try them out on your own, because also my opinion might be very different than yours in regards to the area that you live. You know, if you live in a remote area and you get even less jobs, well, maybe Uber is going to be better for you because you'll at least get the frequency that you were looking for. If you live in a busy spot, like more downtown, maybe Skip could be better for you because you'll be getting higher base pay jobs that might be short distances, especially being in downtown. You definitely don't want to drive 15 blocks just to pick up some food and deliver it somewhere. So all that being said, they both earn around the same amount, but you gotta just see those differences in what you like. I really enjoy the freedom of picking my jobs with Uber and logging in anytime. I really do appreciate the Skip the Dishes having that promotional boost. In the end, guys, it's honestly going to be in your area and how it works. And that's what most drivers do. They'll sign up for DoorDash, they'll sign up for Skip, they'll sign up for Uber, and then see which ones they prefer, and it will be a personal choice. But hopefully that this information I provided you and the differences from those will help you make a choice. And that awesome tip, like I mentioned, sign up for Uber, you'll have your background check that you can submit without having to pay $20 to Skip. That's also a little life hack that you can learn, and go ahead and sign up for these services. But let me know in the comments below, what do you drive? What do you like? What's good in your city? And we'll continue the debate there. If you want to see the full video for Drew, I'll put a link in the description. And also, here's my Skip code if you want to support me. There's no promotion. I will not get any money from this, as it says right here that currently there's no benefits. But if you use it to sign up, maybe one day I'll get something. But till then, we'll see you in the next video.